In the midst of the Cold War, a secret alliance was forged. Behind the Iron Curtain, a Soviet intelligence officer risked it all for the sake of peace. Tensions between the Soviet Union and the US were high, and one man was at the crux of it all. Today we delve into the extraordinary story of Oleg Penkovsky and his pivotal role in the Cuban Missile Crisis that prevented the outbreak of a nuclear war. Before we dive deep into the politics and the tension, let's get to know our main character of the story. Oleg Penkovsky was born on the 23rd of April, 1919, in Vladikavkaz, a city located in the North Caucasus region of Russia. This was a part of the Soviet Union at the time. As an infant, Penkovsky tragically lost his father, an officer in the White Army, during the Russian Civil War, leaving him without the opportunity to know him. Raised in the North Caucasus, Penkovsky completed his education at the Kiev Artillery Academy, where he graduated as a lieutenant in 1939. He actively participated in the Winter War against Finland and served during World War II, steadily rising in rank to become a lieutenant colonel. The tumultuous events of the time, including the rise of communism and the onset of World War II, shaped Penkovsky's worldview and influenced his decision to serve in the military. He displayed intelligence, discipline, and a deep sense of patriotism from an early age. Penkovsky's childhood experiences likely contributed to his later success as a military officer and his ability to navigate the complexities of espionage during the Cold War. Tensions are boiling between the United States and the Soviet Union, and the world is waiting on bated breaths as the two most powerful blocs in the world are engaged in a fatal game of nuclear brinkmanship. At the heart of this back and forth were the US President John F. Kennedy and the Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev. While we may not know much about Penkovsky's early years and the way his childhood shaped him, we can be sure of the man's military heart and his patriotism and love for his country. It was this love, most believe, that led to him taking such a drastic decision. Oleg Penkovsky entered the fight just when the world needed him. Better known among his colleagues as Colonel Penkovsky at the time, Oleg was harboring a life-threatening secret. He has become a double agent for the West, and this could only end in one way, but Oleg was prepared to risk it all. There are many factors that led to the Soviet soldier becoming a spy, but it is widely known that his military background played a vital role in the decision. Penkovsky's career in the Soviet military laid the foundation for his eventual involvement in espionage. He joined the Soviet Red Army during World War II and displayed exceptional skills and intelligence, rising through the ranks to become a lieutenant colonel. As a high-ranking military officer, Penkovsky had access to classified information concerning Soviet military capabilities, strategic plans, and other sensitive matters. This access would prove crucial in his role as a spy. Much like many other spy tales we have covered, it is noteworthy that the intentions behind his espionage were for the greater good. Penkovsky grew disillusioned with the Soviet system, particularly its policies and aggressive stance during the Cold War. He believed that peace and stability could only be achieved through cooperation and dialogue between the East and the West. Penkovsky had exposure to Western ideas and cultures, which further influenced his thinking. He recognized the stark contrast between the Soviet Union and Western democracies and was determined to take action before everything he loved and had worked for would be destroyed. In July 1960, Penkovsky initiated contact with American students on the Bolshoi-Moskvoretsky Bridge in Moscow. He entrusted them with a package containing an offer to spy for the United States.
My dear sir, I request that you pass the following to the appropriate authorities of the United States of America. It is your good friend who is turning to you, a friend who has already become your soldier warrior for the cause of truth. I have consciously embarked upon this path of struggle. I wish to make my contribution to our mutual cause as your soldier.
Penkovsky requested that they deliver the package to an intelligence officer at the U.S. Embassy. However, there was a delay in the CIA's response to Penkovsky's offer. Concerned about the potential ramifications and international tensions, the U.S. Embassy in Moscow hesitated to cooperate. It was then that the CIA contacted MI6, a British intelligence agency, to assist in the matter. It was go time as soon as the CIA showed Penkovsky the green light. Tensions were rising by the day, and the weight of the world now rested on Oleg's shoulders. It was time for Penkovsky's most significant contribution as a spy. His intelligence about the deployment of Soviet nuclear missiles in Cuba proved vital in helping the United States monitor the situation and make informed decisions. During his time as a double agent, Penkovsky was aware of the risks involved, and he took precautions to protect his family from potential reprisals. He was cautious to keep his activities secret, ensuring that his wife and daughter were not directly implicated or endangered. His wife Vera and their daughter were seemingly unaware of his espionage activities, but his goal was to finish off his business before escaping to the West with them to live a fruitful life. It is at this point in history that another man enters the stage, also risking his life and everything he had built on the belief that he could contribute to stopping a nuclear war. Greville Wynne, a British businessman in his 40s, frequently traveled to Eastern Europe for his work engagements. He was recruited by MI6 to serve as a courier. He would meet Penkovsky, gather information, and carry it back to the MI6, who would then share it with the CIA. Operating under the radar, Penkovsky risked his life to meet with his handlers from the United Kingdom's MI6 and the United States CIA. He would meet in isolated locations, passing critical information, including photographs, documents, and reports. The intelligence provided by Penkovsky gave the West an unprecedented understanding of the Soviet Union's actions. It enabled President John F. Kennedy and his advisors to monitor the crisis in real time and make decisions sensitively. As the world held its breath, President Kennedy addressed the nation, revealing the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba. But behind the scenes, Penkovsky's intelligence had already given the United States a crucial advantage.
While they were still a serious threat, no question about it, they were strong militarily, absolutely strong militarily, but they were not as strong as our estimators had felt. And he helped us bring it down to the level where they really were. They were not 10 feet tall, they were about my size, 6'2".
Thanks to Penkovsky's brave actions, the Cuban Missile Crisis was diffused without escalating into a nuclear conflict. His intelligence helped the United States negotiate a peaceful resolution, with the Soviet Union agreeing to remove its missiles from Cuba. In his book on Soviet intelligence, Viktor Suvorov, a former captain in the GRU who defected to the UK in 1978, expressed profound gratitude towards the GRU Colonel Oleg Penkovsky. Suvorov believed that historians would forever appreciate Penkovsky's name for the invaluable information he provided. Suvorov asserted that thanks to Penkovsky's priceless intelligence, the Cuban crisis was averted from escalating into a catastrophic global conflict, sparing the world from the horrors of a potential last world war. But was it really a happy ending for all? Nothing comes without a risk, and Penkovsky knew what he was walking into from day one. In 1962, the Soviet authorities discovered Penkovsky's espionage activities through a combination of counterintelligence efforts, surveillance, and suspicion arising from his frequent contact with Western intelligence officers. The KGB, the Soviet Union's security agency, played a central role in uncovering Penkovsky's double agent status.
We'd gotten a signal from Penkovsky that a dead drop was loaded, and then we sent Dick Jacobs to service that dead drop. He was arrested, and as soon as that happened, we knew the case was over. He was dead. And then Penkovsky was in the hands of the KGB. Booked.
The revelation of Penkovsky's activities was attributed to Jack Dunlap, an employee of the National Security Agency, NSA, who was working as a Soviet spy for the KGB. High-ranking KGB officers had been aware of Penkovsky's affiliation with British intelligence for over a year, but it was more important to protect their sources within MI6. This led to the launch sites being discovered way earlier than the Soviets had planned. The KGB diligently monitored British diplomats and engaged in extensive efforts to construct a compelling case against Penkovsky, ensuring his arrest would take place without shedding light on their moles inside British intelligence. This cost the Soviet Union a great deal, but not more than they could handle. But what happened to him after his capture? Oleg Penkovsky was sentenced to prison upon arrest, and later in 1963, the man who laid down his life for world peace was executed. His legacy, however, lives on as a hero amidst the Cold War. His bravery and sacrifice remind us of the lengths some individuals will go for to uphold the principles of freedom and protect humanity from the perils of nuclear warfare. Following his arrest, Wynne was also arrested for acting as Penkovsky's handler. Till the end, Wynne believes Penkovsky has taken his own life, and the execution story was the Soviet Union's way of asserting their intelligence. He may be remembered as an unsung hero, but Penkovsky's story has been told multiple times in history through media outlets, books, and TV series. The most recent of which, starring Benedict Cumberbatch as Greville Wynne, is The Courier, a British film that retells history as we know it. Do you agree with the steps Oleg took to ensure the world would remain safe from the perils of war? Or do you think the Soviets' claims about the Cuban missiles were only meant to strike fear in the West, and that Oleg's sacrifice was for nothing? We may never know the whole truth, but either way, today we remember Oleg Penkovsky as the spy who dared to change the worldview and defy the Iron Curtain for a peaceful life where he would escape to the West with his wife and daughter. His sacrifice does not go without reward, and today, the world lives in peace. While most Cold War espionage tales take us on a journey of faith, belief, and standing up for what is right, Penkovsky's story is crucial in understanding that the right thing may not always be beneficial, but it does create an impact that transcends our own lives and impacts others. With this, our tale of a double agent who saved the world comes to an end. Bittersweet as it was, be sure to check out our other Spy Tales videos if that is something you are interested in, and check out The Courier to see the spy in action. Thank you so much for sticking around till the end. We make more of these videos regularly, so be sure to like this video and subscribe and turn on the bell notification to never miss another one of these captivating stories ever again. Dare to do something brave today, and remember, heroes can be found in the most unexpected places. Until next time, take care.